Yo, what up YouTube? This is your boy Liger from n-dou, and this is another WTF episode 3 gimmicks. I've seen a lot of videos, a lot of people talking about they hate Nintendo for their gimmicks. They hate Nintendo for thinking differently. Why don't they fall in line and think like the other companies and just make their game this, that, and this? Alright? That is basically their reasoning. They want it to be more powerful. They want it to be simpler. They want it to be easy to copy and paste and port, and not make the game experience no unique, just simple and bland. In my opinion, that's simple and bland. You copy and paste. So let's talk about before I get into this, I'll give you a preference. Yes, not all gimmicks works. The Virtual Boy didn't sell, didn't work. The Nintendo 64 DD didn't work, didn't sell. Okay, Nintendo has failures, but you know what? Because they try certain things, many of their staple to this day is a part of gaming. And I'll give you a little history for those who are younger who don't understand certain things. The reason why a lot of people will think the PlayStation 2 sold because of its library. And that's part of it, not denying that at all. But the reason why PlayStation 2 took off and sold is because they were the electronic giant at the time. Apple had just lost Steve Jobs. They basically, the board fired Steve Jobs. Again, there goes with that shareholders and publishers thing. I'm gonna do a video about that. They fired Steve Jobs. Samsung and LG wasn't the big upstarts as they were. Sony had the market on electronics. The format at that time was DVD. People loved DVDs, and it was in 2000. People wanted DVD players, and it was easy for Sony to put that into their console, which was good. Good marketing, good scheme. It worked. That was the gimmick, as you would say, quote unquote, and helped PlayStation propel, because everybody wanted a DVD player and a gaming console. That was phenomenon. That helped Sony sold so much. Now, of course, in PlayStation 3, they got in at the beginning of the next format wars, which was HD and Blu-ray. And an HD player at the time, I should have said, a Blu-ray player at the time was $600. And the parts was nowhere close to cheap to make like they made with the DVD, because it was several years after the DVD format was there. And PlayStation put in the Blu-ray player, and it was a great Blu-ray player. Everybody viewed it, say it was a great Blu-ray player, but it basically made a PlayStation 3 expensive, and PlayStation lost a ton of money on PlayStation 3. Alright? Let's go to Nintendo when it saved the console market, the home console market back in the 80s. They had a gimmick. They know people hated home consoles, so when it came to New York, they did not sell the console, as a gaming rig or gaming console. They sold the console as a toy. Rob the Robot, the Zapper. It was a toy for kids to have fun. It sneakily got into people's house and bam, took off like nothing else. And of course the game library there as well. Same thing with the Wii. The Wii came out. Everybody understand the concept of a remote that could simply do certain movements, still movements and like that, and it sold like crazy. Yeah, the casual market got in there. Yeah, grandma and grandpa could play games. Ooh, who am I to be a bad person to stop grandma and grandpa from playing games and soccer moms? The negativity against that also, as gamers, I don't understand you people saying that, but whatever. And it sold like crazy. Those were gimmicks. The gamepad, hey, it might not push a lot of things as a lot of people like it, but you know what? The gamepad to me is a very cool concept. I like it. You want it to be, and also let me put this out to you again for the people. Oh, I see one video that said, oh, it should be $200. Dude, seriously, again, look at my price cut video and you understand why is for Nintendo is a bad idea for them to do a price cut. Again, the thing that hurts Sony in most cases and Nintendo is the exchange rate, and it's volatile right now. No markets are very stable right now. So again, look at that video, you'll see all the stuff I say about it, about that. So those are gimmicks. Those will make the console sold. You know what? And every console has a priority. Because I'm not gonna, before I get into this, I'm not gonna be, you know, hurtful and say bashful things, because I don't do that. I don't do that on my channel. Xbox ushered in online gaming for consoles, and it's great. I love it. PlayStation 1 ushered in third-party developers at the time, with third-party developers and publishers, the developers, to get from underneath Nintendo's license fees and cartridge fees. Cool. More games, more horizon. You find better gems in that plethora of libraries. There were a bunch of crap, but there were great games in there. Battletoads Ended, Crash Bandicoot, Jak and Dax, and the game goes on and on. Same with Sega and all that stuff. I'm cool with that. Third-party developers got the payment to open up and do great things. But the thing that kills me is a lot of people forget what Nintendo has done for the market. Come on, all the stuff that they've done, they mainline and stream, I should say mainline and streamline many things that gamers now today, for the younger gamers, that you guys are taking for granted. It wasn't PlayStation that did it, and it wasn't Xbox that did it. Let me explain it out for you. The D-pad. There are a lot of games that use the D-pad on your Game Boy, your Game Boy, your handheld, all the other stuff. Nintendo ushered that in. Shoulder buttons, left trigger, right trigger, bumpers, all the stuff that you first-person shooters love. Hey, you know who came up with that concept and being different? Nintendo. Super Nintendo controller. Oh, including for fighting. That was awesome. 6 buttons. Hey, who would have thought? Nintendo 64. Force feedback. It's in almost every controller now. They streamlined it, made it a thing. The analog stick. Wow, the analog stick. Something that transformed gaming in a 3D space. They mainline it and streamline that thing as well. The first console come with 4 ports, so you don't need no adapters, and made couch co-op. You know, Mario Kart 64, Smash Bros, all those games. Awesome. GoldenEye. Hey, that was the Nintendo 64. The Wavebird. Of course, Atari came up with the first basically wireless controller, but the Wavebird ushered in and streamlined controls that don't need wires. Man, what a concept. And it works good. It's functional. I'm happy that they did that. The Wii remote. Oh man. They made a lot of motion controls. A lot of people played it, had fun, tennis, golf, all kind of stuff. But you know what? They put up a concept, the Wii remote, for even practical games. 'Cause a lot of people at first said, "Oh, I can't use this in hardcore gaming or whatever." In shooters, I'm sorry, I am spoiled because of the nunchuck and the Wii remote. To have the concept of a pointer that points exactly where you need to shoot, and of course the comfortability of the B button being underneath as a trigger. Wow, a simple concept a lot of people forget. Shin Mikami for the Resident Evil, and the producers for the Resident Evil Chronicles game love the remote for that. Same thing for the Treyarch guys when they did the Wii versions of their game, or should I say that the Nintendo versions of their Call of Duty series. They love it because it's so precise. Go figure. All those are gimmicks. Touch controls in gaming, even though the DS and the gamepad doesn't have multi-touch. Okay, but when it comes to like Kirby Master Attack, Kirby Canvas Curse, Elite Beat Agents, Ninja Gaiden, many Professor Layton, many other games that took touch controls and drawing and screen thing, all these things very well on the Nintendo console. Better than it would be on an iPhone and everything else. Touch controls made great games. They open up the horizon, just like PlayStation opened up third-party dev to give games. Nintendo has opened up the horizon to make many other games, and of course, the other consoles copied the same thing: the Move, the Kinect, try to get in there, and they were less successful than Nintendo when it comes to implementation. So come on, also. So those are things that they did, and as again in the beginning of the video I point out things that they are failure for. I like Nintendo's thinking of let's try something different. I do not want it to be, you know what, if Nintendo do this for the next console, because I have a video also what I want in Nintendo's next console. People who say I want them to do this, want to do that, you don't have the money. You don't have the money. You do not know how to make a console. You might know how to build a PC, but you're still building a PC off of parts from other people who designed the PC. The parts, I should say. You ain't going to AMD or Intel and intricately built the CPU. You don't know how to do that. You can't do that. So be quiet about that stuff. You don't know how to code and design a fully operational game. Be happy that you got something. And of course, everybody like, oh, we need more power. Power don't mean that much. Of course, like I pointed out again, with many games that came out that did 1080p, 50 and 60 frames a second, that power wouldn't do nothing to at this time. A couple years from now, yes. And let's not forget the champion of this thing. Hey, how many competitors came up that were more powerful, more stronger, better designed than the handheld system of Nintendo? Game Gear, Linux, Linux, Neo Geo, all of them try to fight Nintendo's Game Boy, Dot Matrix, pixelated. They didn't win. Same thing with the Game Boy Advance and the DS and the 3DS. PlayStation Vita and PSP is way more powerful than the 3DS, but they're not selling nowhere close as the 3DS. It's all about the software, and people love the software. It's about the game. Power. Every developer always gonna ask for more power. That's given. But there are a lot of developers out there who are happy in the constraints and confinement to make great games using what the product is. You buy no company, Nintendo, Sony, or Microsoft, come to your house, hold a gun to your head and say, hey, buy a console. If you don't want it, you don't have to buy it. I never say buy a Wii U, 3DS, and other stuff on my channel. Everybody has a preference. You buy what you want to buy. It's your money. But the point of arguing about stupid, make no sense to me. It's just crazy. It's just too crazy how things work out that way. Let me go into a simple concept right here, right now, at this scale. Last year, Sony, as a big conglomerate, PlayStation is selling very well. Top, kudos to PlayStation 4. You're selling very well. Sony right now is losing $2 billion. Let me put it this way. They lost $2.1 billion last year. They are scheduled to lose $2 billion this year. Nintendo lost $240 million in 2013. Million to billion? Are you kidding me? And this is US. Not the exchange. These money totals are in US dollars. That's crazy. The Xbox division of Microsoft is a chip. They do not make money for Microsoft. They make money, but I'm talking about like a sizable amount. Nowhere close to a tenth of what the company is. They don't. In the last shareholders meeting, as I pointed out in the price cut, the shareholders want to cut off Xbox division because the console's not making money. They're not making money off the console. They're selling the console at a loss. Nintendo has $11 billion in the bank, US dollars. They are a very company that has a good profit margin. Now, I wish Nintendo could release some of that billions of dollars to put many games out there so people could enjoy them. I agree with you on to that. It's the concept of, you don't like Nintendo. Again, I just list off many reasons I think you should respect them. You don't like them, that's cool. That's your preference. But you see, I don't like a lot of things, but I respect. If they did great things to make my life easier, I'm gonna respect them. That's the person I am. Again, Nintendo's not the, it took them a while. The online structure is very bad. I admit to that. It's not great. Okay. You know what also? When it comes to DLC, everybody hates DLC. But let's look in 2014, 2013. Look at the way how Nintendo has done DLCs compared to every other game designer and developer. To me, they implemented way better than them. The Amiibos. They did Amiibos for the collectors in somebody. You do not need Amiibos to play no game. You do not. It's not an essential. If you want to have them, you have them. If you don't want to have them, you don't have to buy them. Again, they're not coming to your house and force you to pay $13 for these things. All right? To me, they treaded that line of necessary and not necessary very well so far. And I hope they come out, and just like everybody else, I hope they come out with a game that uses all the amiibos as a big game. That's cool. But again, you're not forced to buy them. You are the consumer. You have the power to buy or not buy a product. Alright? That's what it is. And it's funny. Y'all want them to do this, do that. Again, you're not going to Apple and say, hey Apple, why don't you just take your OS system and put an Android phones? Because they're not gonna do it, and you still buy an Apple product. It's the same thing telling Airbus and Boeing, hey, I like to recline 50 degrees back. I like a 20-inch screen TV in front of me. I like armrests. I don't want nobody within 50 feet of me on the plane. They're not gonna do that because there are millions of customers out there. And that's what the problem is. A lot of people also forget. Sony PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Wii U are mass-produced consoles, okay? They're not going to please every one of y'all. That is a fact on anything that's mass-produced. It's always going to be something that somebody don't like about it. Alright? If you know how to make a console, if you know how to make a game, you know what? Please, do it. Make a game, make a console, and I will gladly play it and see how it holds up. I'm a person, in my lifetime, I am happy that I got certain things in my life. Thank whatever you want to thank. I love the games. If Nintendo comes out with a console and they're gonna give me those polished games, I'm happy. I don't know how to do it. I don't know what makes it great. All I know is I have fun, and I don't take gaming as serious as a lot of people. Again, if you want amazing graphics, buy a PC. There's always going to be that. No console, once again, will ever be as powerful as a PC because of the problem with technology. Every 6 months, it always comes out of date. So why you want a console to be exactly like a PC? I don't know. And also with the third-party publishers, I do not want them to be a copy and paste job. I really don't. Copy and paste jobs is what makes the market stagnant, and there's no ingenuity to make something awesome. In a certain video, the person said, oh man, I get Assassin's Creed and the Call of Duty and all this stuff, but we won't get the Rayman and Raven Rabbits, the Red Steel 2, the Metroid Prime trilogy series because of the control system. What? If I have to choose those games over the other games, I'll choose those games because those are imaginative. Those use the controls and they optimize for the system very well, that they are cool. I love those games. The No More Heroes. Come on, man. That makes no sense to me. That makes no sense to me. I don't need, and I'm a person saying this right here. This video getting too long. I'm a person like, again, Arkham Knight is not coming out on a Wii console. You know what I'm gonna buy it for? A PlayStation 4, Xbox One? Nope. I'm gonna buy it for a PC that I have. If you want the best use of any gaming rig, get a PC. That's the only thing I would tell you to go buy. Buy a PC. Do what you gotta do to make it a gaming rig. At least you can use it for internet. Internet's free. You could buy games. You could do many things with it. You can still do your, computing, your Word, Excel. You're looking for your vacation and everything. Then a console, which is made just for gaming. And we already seen. Before I go, I want to point out something that's crazy too. Assassin's Creed, Unity, and yes, and Watch Dogs the same way too. And all these, it was hundreds of developers in different studios and millions of dollars to make it work on a console. A console is a streamlined gaming rig. You don't have an OS system or a lot of the stuff that's running in the background on PC to slow down a game and do crazy stuff, that will cripple the performance of the game. How come how come you can't program it on a console to work more efficiently than on a PC? Think about it. That's a problem right there. But again, this video is getting too long. I like gimmicks. If you don't like Nintendo, that's your preference. That's cool. All I'm asking you is to respect them. You do not know how to make a console. You do not know how to make a game. When them games come out and you enjoy them, be happy. That's all it is. Let's just be happy with that stuff. Gimmicks are gimmicks. Everything out there has a gimmick to get you to buy them. Alright? So let's not go crazy with, oh, I don't like the way of thinking. That's the way of thinking. I'd rather Nintendo fail as Nintendo than Nintendo fail as trying to be like everybody else. The same concept I use for my business. I'd rather fail doing it my way than doing it another way that you guys do it. But as this video is getting too long, and I'm sorry, I just had to get that out. Remember, when it comes to gaming, there's no perfect games out there. What's perfect to you is not perfect to me. What's perfect to me is not perfect to you. Simply just play your games.